Hey everybody, and welcome to week number 4. We're going to wrap up the first part of the marketing framework, the STP part of it this week. We're going to talk about positioning. You might notice that this week's a little lighter, in a sense, than other weeks where we're only going to cover one chapter, because I want you to spend as much time as possible on milestone 1, which is due the end of the week, this coming Sunday. And it's going to require some research. It's going to require you to do some work in that regard. And it takes time. So I want to make sure you spend the proper amount of time on it, because the time you spend on it, milestone 1, and getting it solid as possible, is really time well spent. It will really help you out for the rest of the class. So that's what we're going to do this week. It'll feel a little lighter, but it's not really meant to be that way. It's just meant to spend your time on the right things. Once you kind of work through milestone 1, I put the material out there for milestone 2 to kind of give you an idea what's coming. Make sure that you do that, do the review and everything after you've basically completed milestone 1. If you're struggling with any part of doing milestone 1, because again, it requires some research, and you're going to have to cite that research in your actual assignment that you submit. If you have any questions about any part of that, don't hesitate to ask. Okay, I gave you a little bit of starter research in the company background information, which you got earlier in the or in the class. Look under the final project; you'll see it there. It's company background information, and it'll give you kind of a framework to start working from, and will help you understand the kinds of things that you need to find out. All right, so that wraps up the really, really important part of marketing management, which is the STP part, where we do segmentation, targeting, and this last part is called positioning. So that's what we're going to do. And then, as you can see from the schedule, next week, hey, you get spring break. Have fun, enjoy it, do what I'm saying, have fun. I won't have fun either if you're the kind of person who's working and doing the things that you're going to do. But if you do, I wish you the very best. I hope you have a really great time. Okay, so let's talk about Chapter 5 a little bit. This week, we're going to talk about positioning, which is what Chapter 5 is about. And it's a really interesting topic because it's so important, because this is really where you tie together lots of pieces of the marketing equation. Now, you might think like maybe this is premature to be doing positioning, but in reality, once you really have your market well understood, you can actually start thinking about positioning, which is really an important step to take, as it'll help you do the other steps of your marketing plan. So, and you're going to get a kind of an overview of it, basically, in the text this week. We're going to talk about positioning via perceptual maps, which is really kind of an interesting topic. Those things can get very sophisticated if you want to look at them that way. But there's a lot of things that go into positioning, but there's some basic things that you want to answer, and you're going to see that in milestone 2. So I want you to take a good look at it and really understand what's being asked, because this is kind of saying where you see this brand slash, the products that are in the brand, where does it fit within the entire marketplace? And this is ultimately really important because it makes you back up and say, how does our customer see who we are in relationship to other choices that they have to make this purchase? And it's really, really important to get that perspective, especially with your target market in mind. So with the work that you did last week is really going to come in handy for this week as well. So, and again, you take a good look at it. It really makes a lot of sense when you look at it. And it's not only kind of a summary statement of where you see this all fitting in, but it also gives you sort of the framework to help you do some of the further definition of your product and the other of the 4 P's that are coming up. So again, as we look at it from the standpoint of the management framework, we see that positioning is the last part of the STP portion of the management framework, and again, being very foundational and very important that we understand that very well. So you basically want to understand what marketing positioning is and how a perceptual map helps you to do that. I've always found those things very fascinating and interesting, but take a good look at it and try to understand what they purport to do, and then explain where your brand would be in the positioning matrix and how the 4 pieces of the matrix need to be consistent. And it'll make sense, and it'll make more sense as you go through the whole thing. But that's basically what you're going to put in perspective this week. Again, it seems like the week's a little bit light because we're only covering the one chapter. You have to do the quiz. We don't have any other real external things. We don't have discussion posts or anything like that. But as I really want you to dive deep and really get Milestone 1 done, and done very, very well. Please don't hesitate to reach out and ask if you have any questions about what needs to go into it, if you're struggling with it. But earlier than later, if you come to me 2 days before it's due, I have a lot of scrambling to do, and I know most of you really don't have the time to do that. So please do that early on in the week, and we'll work through that. Okay, so that's what we're looking for this week. Have the spring break, and then when you get back, we're going to kind of be running at it a little bit faster, and be ready to go. All right, so best of luck with Milestone 1. Again, don't hesitate to reach out, and let me know if you have any questions.